Sea Otter Day 2. We've got a lot of exciting tech. We've got a bike from LAL Bikes. You haven't heard of them yet, but you will do in the future. We've got an incredible downhill bike and enduro bike from Williams Racing. We've got a whole fleet of new bikes from Revel and loads more tech, so stay tuned. We're on the Praxis booth and they have got a fascinating prototype. This is a Gearbox, well, unlike any Gearbox I've seen before. We've seen Gearboxes getting more and more kind of like coverage, some prototypes from other brands and some production ones already. But this one is really different. Why? Well, opposed to using gears that intermesh with each other, a bit like a kind of car gearbox or something a bit more agricultural, this uses a kind of known quantity. Chains. We've had chains on bikes for, well, centuries almost, and they're using a very clever gear cluster setup where you've got two of these. So this current prototype is a 4-speed, but it can be built up to an 8-speed, or, well, yeah, you can build out, you can use your imagination. It's very clever in the fact that you've got these gears that kind of pop into place, so they're all aligned above each other. And that's clever because opposed to loading the chain sideways at all, the chain line is perfect. And that means that chain wear should be very minimal. It's all boxed up as well, so it should be away from contaminants. And the actual loading of the system isn't using a kind of electronic motor to push the gear in. It's using a little solenoid that hits a cam on the back of this. So in terms of how it works, it's actually pretty simple. This is really clever. It's really exciting to see something that is new, cutting edge, and hopefully can be on bikes soon. Watch this space. Williams Racing Products is a name that you might not have heard of, but a combination of wonderful different suspension links and also some clever stuff with free hubs and an incredible suspension bike. I feel you're going to hear a lot more about WRP. So first, we've got these wonderful machined yokes. They're machined for lots of different bikes, and it allows you to run either slightly different progressive on your suspension system, or you're able to run a mixed wheel size. Say if you've got a 29-29 and you want to try a mixed wheel size, well, these links give you that opportunity. There's also, you know, some changes to the kinematics, so how your suspension works when you're changing that, and WRP do all the maths on what those changes are and let you know. Interesting stuff. There is some free hub magic happening here. This is a DT Swiss hub, which has a very nice star ratchet. But WRP do some, well, at the moment they're saying just magic. How that magic works can't yet be revealed, but it's been used on some top World Cup level bikes. And what it does is, well, eliminate feedback through the drivetrain, through the rear wheel. It is very clever stuff. On the Williams Racing products, they've got this, well, it's just incredible downhill bike. It's had various iterations of drivetrain, but now it's got an FE gear system in there, so you've got a shifter pod up on the bar, but I mean there is a lot going on this bike. It is really impressive. So we've got high pivot, we've got effectively single speed back end, so you've got really low unsprung mass. You've then got the pivot in a really clever place. The way that the shock linkage works is also just unique, so it may look like a single pivot, but it's not. We've got that other pivot just behind where the bottom bracket sort of would be. You've got this wonderful cluster, nice and low, which means that all that mass is low and centered. That's where the shock's sat as well. And then a beautiful steel production frame. It is a thing of beauty. I think this could, in the right hands, be an incredibly fast bike. Will it win a World Cup? I don't see the bikers going to do any holding back. This is a very speedy machine. We're here in the SRAM booth and there is a new pedal. Yeah, the Shisto. This is a new downhill pedal from Time. So Time have got a long history in making clips. They've had the Time Attack out for, well, decades and decades. And they've had a downhill model out in the past, but this is the new iteration whilst they've been under kind of like SRAM ownership. So very interesting. We've got a much bigger platform. We've got the Time Attack twin parallels as the clip feature. We've got lots of pins and lots of adjustment. Looks a very interesting pedal. The stats also say it's got a 2-year warranty, which seems very good for a downhill pedal. On the SRAM booth, and this is Pacer McKelvin's Allied. It's his full suspension bike, and this one he used for an epic ride in New Zealand. Lots of really interesting spec on it. We've got flight attendant, we've got blingy XXSL crankset, and some really big fat tyres. Nice all-terrain beast. We're on the SRAM booth. We've already talked about this dropper post before. It's the redesigned reverb. So the name is the same, but how it works and functionally, it is very different. Okay, it's still Axis, so it still works via that bleak button remote on your dropper post. But now there's lots of sizes. And okay, you've got 34.9, you've got 31.6, and you've got 30.9 in diameter. But what I'm talking about is the size of the drop. And there's some big drops. We've got 100. We've got 125. That was the sort of OG dropper post length. Now we've got 150. Okay, we're getting longer now. 175. That is an exceedingly long post. But RockShox have got a 200. Yep, 200 mil of drop. They're not stopping there. Oh, no. 225. 250 mil. Okay, if you're a really tall rider, that could be gold. It is big, it is pretty burly, but 250 mil of drop. That's huge. We're on the Continental booth, and they've got not one new tyre, but a whole trio of new tyres. So we've seen their new Gravity Enduro tyres, and we covered the fact they've got some new sizes, including 26 on the tech show fairly recently. But now we've got a relaunch of the cross-country and trail tyres. So what was the Race King has now been redesigned and becomes the Dubnital. What was the Trail King now becomes the Trinotal, and what was the All Mountain, or Mountain King, becomes the Magnetol. Lots of nice tech on these tyres, lots more working edges on the tyre. I mean, the Race King was a real big racer's favourite, as the name would suggest. Even some gravel racers using it because it rolls so quickly. So this new one is available in 2.2 and 2.4, as is all the other models. Very impressive. Okay, this is a road bike. Yep, we're not even dipping our toe into gravel, but this is important because this is part of the My Canyon program, which at the moment is released in the US, but it means that you can pick lots of color options and paint schemes for your canyon. Hopefully we'll see it on the mountain bike side soon, because some of these paint jobs are rad. We're on the Hunt stand, and we featured these in our tech show, well, just last week actually. These are the new V3 wide Enduro wheels. So we've got different rim profiles, front and rear, to do different things. We've got different spoke patterns as well. We've also got a new hub that's got a new ratchet. It feels very nice. Probably the bigger news is also the bearings used inside are now Enduro bearings. So they should offer even more performance. There's a lot of riding happening at Sea Otter, so it's really fun to see a park tool work stand with all the tools you might need. Great stuff. We're on the Topeak booth, and they are famous for their floor pumps and their track pumps and their frame pumps, and well, yeah, they're very good pumps. But Topeak have been working away on a new valve. This one is the turbo valve, and this is the adapter, but they've also got turbo valves which will also be all valve. And effectively, we're looking at a new valve setup, and it's very clever because you can put more air in much quicker and much easier because they've worked on the diameter of this valve here, and the machining is ultra precise, so you can chuck in a lot more air with a lot less effort. So one thing that's really impressive about this turbo flow isn't just the huge amount of airflow that you can chuck in. Like, it's noticeably different how easy it is to put more air in. It's also the fact that, well, actually you don't need the full package. You don't need to upgrade your pump to use this. A regular Presta sort of valved pump will work on this. Okay, you get even more airflow if you use Topeak's valve, but it means it will fit your bike, it will put more air in straight away. You don't have to get new standards. Very clever bit of kit. We're on the Industry 9 or i9 stand, and they've got this beautiful Neuhaus hardtail. In itself, it's lovely. We've got some kind of lovely 5-dev cranks. We've got the new SRAM Eagle. I think that's the 70, but maybe it's the 90. It's wonderful. And yes, the big standout is the Solix M wheel set. So we've got carbon rim, then we've got the Solix hubs, which are the sort of lighter but still high engagement, and still made in North Carolina, and still with these incredible aluminium spokes. They also do their anodizing in-house, which is why they can offer these just beautiful deep purple colour, and this custom show special, well, colour fade. It is a thing of beauty. I mean, I'm not sure even the kind of wonderment of the camera will be able to capture the beautiful colourway. Magic. We're on the Revel bike stand, and they've got a lot of new bikes. We're going to start with this one, which is the Ritual, which is a 165 rear 170 bike, and it comes 29er in the large and XL, and then it's a mixed wheel size in the smaller sizes, the small and the medium. It uses a Canfield balance suspension, which is like a, well, 6-link. I'm going to say 6-link suspension setup. Really nice carbon frame. designed to last is what they're saying, and backed by a lifetime warranty. Lots of nice details, including a very nice down tube storage. And this little rascal is, well, new and updated. The rascal's been out a while, but this is a newly updated model. So we've got a new frame, we've got subtly new geometry. And what we're looking at is a 140, 130mm rear travel trail bike. Okay, you could call it down country if you wanted to, could call it light trail, but essentially we've got a premium carbon frame, we've got the Canfield balance suspension, so this unique 6-bar setup. We've also got a really high quality frame, which Revel are backing with a lifetime warranty. Fun stuff. This is the Revel rerun. Revel haven't dabbled in EMTBs before, so this is their first go. And we've got a 165 rear travel and we've got 170 up front. It's not dissimilar to the Ritual, but of course it has got a motor, and it's got a Bosch motor. It's got the SX in there. It is compatible with a booster tank, so you can run a longer range. But yeah, very interesting bike. Suspension-wise, it's that 6-bar Canfield balanced formula setup, so it should work very well. Interesting bike. We're on the Yoshimura stand and we're looking at their Chill Out pedal. It's a flat, comes in 2 sizes. They're now doing the Chill Out SS, and it is a very interesting pedal. Okay, profile is, well, kind of normal for a flat pedal. Got a lot of pins, they go in from the back, all very nice. Machined in the US too, it's nice. But the insides, well, that's where it gets interesting. So we've got an Igus bushing, again, that's not new. We've got triple bearings on the outside. Okay, that's quite a few more than other pedals. We've also got this spring. Spring's really clever because what it does is it helps absorb some knocks, and it also helps preload those bearings. So there's no chance for the pedal to have any kind of wear or tear in it. Obviously, bearings do wear. There's also a very clever orientation of their lip seal. It's kind of inverted to lots of other pedals. It's also fully captured, so it will be a real tight fit in there. But because of the spring, there's not a lot of sort of drag on the system, and that pedal is really well sealed. Very interesting, and 2 sizes. Okay, we've got a really nice trail bike here. So we've got 150 travel, 130 rear travel, we've got a high pivot, we've got an idler. Another great bike. Oh, hold on. Hold the phone. What's going on with the rear mech? This is from LAL Bikes, and this is super impressive. Essentially, we've got a kind of, bisected rear derailleur, and it means that we've got a wonderful shift system that should last a lot longer, and it's the separation of kind of damping and clutch control means that it shifts much smoother. And you'll see that even though this is kind of a mullet or mixed wheel size bike, there's a lot of clearance on the drive side because that rear mech, the parallelogram, is shifted all the way up into the frame, and you've got that kind of protecting boomerang around of carbon to protect it. It is really incredible in terms of the level of design and optimization. The idler is also effectively on the swing arm, so that means it does lots of clever things with the suspension and how it's loaded up. It's also quite far forward, and that means that the idler can last a lot longer. They've done a lot of testing with LAL. They're kind of very much engineering focused, and that should last a lot longer than lots of the other pivots that are out there. So it's available right now to pre-order, and it is available in mixed wheel size or full 29er, and I've got to say it is a truly stunning bike. Wow, my mind is blown. Obviously, let me know what your favourite bike was. I think that LAL bike for me was just incredible. But let me know in the comments what your favourite was. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do. And if you've liked this video, do stick the thumbs up on there. It really helps. Right, tomorrow there's more.